Hello and welcome to Dreamwalker Tarot. My name is Dawn and this is the 2022 Leo reading for Leo's Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, and Venus. So I've been saying every time I do these videos. Mercury and Venus aspects are really going to be highlighted in this year's year ahead reading because the tarot card of the year is the Lover's card, which is the astrological representation in tarot for Geminis, which is a sign that is ruled by Mercury. And so that is really talking about communication and like the relationship aspects or the lover's aspects in your energetic field for this year. If you want to take a look at the Lover's card, there is a reading up. I'll put a link in the bio so that you can listen to that reading as well. But those energies are going to be very prevalent this year because the card of the year is the Lovers, right? So that's always going to kind of be playing a factor in the reading. So I am using a couple of decks to look at the energy for the year, the overall energy for the year before I get into the tarot. And the first deck that I'm using is the Sacred Symbols by Marcella Kroll. And the cards that came out for you for Leo energy for 2022 is Breakthrough, Medicine Man Eye, and the Courage card. And it's interesting because when the cards fell out, the way that they landed was just like this. The Breakthrough card and the Medicine Man Eye card were kind of like really next to each other, and the Courage card fell slightly apart from them. And it's crazy because these cards actually look like they go together, right? So, I mean, this is like a clear and definite message from Spirit about tapping into the greatest parts of yourself and allowing that to heal you and to give you the courage to kind of experience the breakthrough in your life. But the way that the cards land, that's an overall message, but the way that they land specifically is that the breakthrough comes attached to your ability to tap into your natural powers. And you need the courage to do that. So I feel like for some of you, there's something attached to that Medicine Man Eye thing. And I want to look at the deck itself, the book, to see what it says. But there's definitely something attached to that Medicine Man Eye that really speaks to like a supernatural ability, because that looks like that symbol is like representative of the God's eye. So it's probably your breakthrough is tapped to some sort of spirituality. And for some reason, you're having a difficult time tapping into that. And you need the courage to do so. And that's kind of going to be the path that you're going to be walking down during 2022. So let's look at what the guidebook says. The Breakthrough card says, miracles, divine end of stagnation, divine inspiration, a turning point, the change or answer you've been seeking is here now. Meditate on this symbol when you are feeling stuck, unsure which way to go, or having a block creatively. The Medicine Man Eye card says, a healer, a healing in its highest form, prophecy, natural magical abilities. Meditate when wanting healing on the physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual plane. Also helpful when wanting to induce prophetic visions. In this symbol, the Native American Medicine Man Eye is a powerful symbol. The medicine man or woman was held in high regard and had magical powers of spiritual healing and seeing the future, all seeing, all knowing, all uniting. Okay, so there's this additional element to these two cards that kind of speaks to those people who have like magical abilities within their bloodline. Like, you know that the people in your family were practitioners, but that might not have been something that you were into, or there might have been a little bit of like hesitation to do it because you didn't really understand it and you might have had a little bit of fear about it, right? Or it was just something that was completely kept from you, but it's like you find yourself attracted to that. I feel like there is a sense of the need for you to start to honor the blood that you have within you, because I feel like it's calling to you. How else to say that? I feel like it's calling to you, right? And I feel like that element is like a missing element in your life and you don't even realize it. So there are some of you who kind of fall into that category. I think Cancer also got this same courage card, and the courage card says, Joan of Arc once said, I am not afraid. I was born to do this. This is your new mantra. You have all that you need and more to proceed. Live your dreams, step forward with confidence and surety. Meditate on this symbol and mantra whenever you need a boost of encouragement. The next deck is the Life Purpose Oracle Cards deck by Doreen Virtue. And this is just to get an overall energy of what your life purpose might be working with. And the two cards that came out are the Flowers card and You're on the Right Path. I feel like the Flowers card is really talking about with the medicine man, but dealing with flower essences, dealing with plants, working with plant matter, possibly making like herbal remedies for you, but kind of using that as a venture into, this medicine man, medicine woman path, right? I feel like flowers is definitely a path, is usually how most of us start on our path, dealing with flowers, plants, herbs. And so I do feel like that is factoring in heavily here. But also I feel like some of you might have already started dabbling with that or started kind of, working with plants or, growing plants or, just being concerned about working with natural remedies. And so if this is something that you're doing, then here you go. You are already on the right path. I'm going to go ahead and read these cards, the guidebook, and see what the book says. For flowers, it says, working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessings to others through your life purpose. This card signifies your special connection to flowers, whose fragrance, color, and beauty provide healing blessings. As you grow, admire, photograph, and work with blossoms, so too does your connection with the divine blossom. Your affinity for flowers is just beginning, and spending time with them will help every part of your life bloom. You may literally work with flowers, for example, as a gardener, a florist, or floral essence healer. Or it may be that spending personal time with these lovely features of the natural world sparks your creative ideas about a new career path. So whether your relationship with flowers is destined to become a career or an avocation, spend time with them today. Walk through a flower shop and notice which color bloom you're drawn to. This flower holds healing properties that you need right now. If possible, take it home and spend time absorbing its color and fragrance. Trust the flower's wisdom and power to help you upon your life purpose pathway. The next card is You're on the Right Path. Keep what you're doing because it's working. In case you are doubting your feelings and plans, this card is your angel's way of encouraging you to continue with your present dreams and goals. Just the act of having a dream has added passion and meaning to your life. Now the angels are encouraging you to take positive action steps related to your dream. They know that you'll feel happier and more energized as you devote daily time and energy to its fruition. Begin by centering your mind and body with a few deep breaths. Close your eyes and then silently ask your guardian angels, please clearly give me signs, guidance, motivation, support, and inspiration related to my divine life purpose. Notice the thoughts and feelings you receive after making this request. Work as a team with your angels by asking them for additional information and clarity, and then follow that guidance as it occurs. And that is like the ultimate form of working with spirit, right? Just co-creating with spirit. And so I really do feel like that's kind of like what you're going to be stepping into for this year. Let me look at the Romance Angels card that came out. Getting to know each other and healing family issues. And the healing family issues, as you can see, landed upside down and not right side up. Okay, so there are several things happening here. So the first thing with the getting to know each other card, I feel like with you this year, instead of kind of like letting your passion lead you and rushing into a relationship head first and diving into it, that you should kind of slow down this year and really take the time and the opportunity to get to know someone on a truly intimate level, which is really like sitting down and exchanging information about yourselves and really getting to know each other, and potentially being able to catch like the red flags that you might miss, because you skip that, if you skip that step, right? So this is like really giving yourself the opportunity to really get to know someone in an intimate way and form real bonds and real connections with them. And so that is going to be playing out like in your love life. I feel like there is also the element of like healing family issues at play here. And I mean, outside of like which is something that I feel like all families possibly need to do, is like take the time to really like talk and heal and work through old family issues that are kind of like festering under the surface. At the surface level, I do kind of get that, because I feel like that is like overdue. Like it's overdue to discuss and talk about the issues that you have. But on a spirit level, I feel like the connection of these two cards, along with the Medicine Man card that came out before, and the Courage, I feel like there is like a line of communication between spirit and you that has been broken. And I feel like you're going to have to kind of work to really get to know the spirits within your bloodline, like especially those that have passed over. I feel like working and getting in tune with your abilities will allow you to get to know your spirits better, and ultimately that will lead to kind of healing ancestral, Six of Cups type, ancestral issues, right? And I feel like that is kind of like the call that's coming, because I feel like when you work through those issues and when you get to know your family in that way, you heal trauma that actually heals you, it heals your whole bloodline. And ultimately, that is something that you need a lot of courage to do. And so that I really kind of feel like that is a message here for some of you, that is really kind of like coming out really strongly. So getting to know each other, it says the romance angels, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. The romance angels are guiding you to create intimacy with your partner by revealing your true feelings, your dreams and desires, and other innermost aspects of yourselves. You discover commonalities and learn new ways of relating. If you're presently in a relationship, this card is a message of healing through honest dialogue. This is particularly true if you stuff down feelings instead of discussing them with your partner. Perhaps sitting together with a counselor will give you the strength and support to admit them. Regardless, this card clearly guides you toward holding deep and honest discussions for the benefit of your love life. Oh my God, absolutely. So, even like if you're in a relationship right now, like you can deepen your connection with that person, right? Like you can go deeper, and really kind of like make sure that you get to know that person on a deeper level. Because I feel like when you're in a relationship with someone, no matter how long you've known them, there's always things to learn about them. And there's always things that they're going to, they're going to tell you after knowing you for forever. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that about you. So I think there is like a sense of also creating deep connections with the people that we're currently intermingled with in our lives, just getting to know people on a deeper level. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. The answer to your prayers around your love life are based on your feelings about your mother and father. The romance angels see that you benefit from releasing old anger toward one or both of them. That's because your feelings about your parents influence your choice of romantic partner and the way in which you deal with relationships. You can ask the angels to help you put forgiveness into action. To forgive someone doesn't mean that you're endorsing his or her behavior. The angels will tell you rather that doing so is a form of deep emotional detoxification. It means I'm no longer willing to carry toxic energy within my mind and body. When you find inner peace with your parents, you'll no longer need to attract unhealthy relationship patterns and partners as a way of healing family emotional wounds. All of your relationships, especially the one you have with yourself, will benefit. And I feel like that's kind of tying back to, like I said, like the Six of Cups energy that I kind of feel with these cards, like that deep ancestral healing, dealing with your parents, if they're here, if they're alive, or even if they're not. Okay, so using, I don't even know what deck this is. I think this is the Modern Witch Tarot, but don't quote me on that. I'm pulling the overall energy for 2022, and the cards that came out is the Priestess card and the Seven of Pentacles, along with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So this, the pairing of the High Priestess and the Seven of Pentacles is actually a little interesting to me. They are kind of like polar opposites of each other. Seven of Pentacles is like Taurus energy, really about like hard work, kind of like, really about putting in the labor, right? It's about putting in the work that needs to get done, and just kind of being focused on that. So it's really like a determined, focus on the work aspect type of person. And that's, kind of like some Taurian energy there, right? Some earth sign energy. But the High Priestess is an element of water, which is associated with Pisces predominantly, and that is kind of like an affiliation with the moon. And so the hard and the soft nature of these two cards, along with the look on this girl's face in this card, is really a look of like just skepticism. And I kind of feel like that's what's going on with you, Leo, in terms of like, the energy that you're kind of been, you're kind of going to be dealing with this year. Because with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it's kind of like, here we go again. Something, has happened. Like, fortune has just not been on your side. It feels like you're gambling at the wheel, and it feels like you're always losing. And so you have like the skepticism attached to you, in affiliation with like, like maybe like the woo-woo stuff, right? Like even talking about tapping into the medicine woman, medicine shaman aspect that came out in the previous spread. There might be a little bit of cynicism attached to you, or skepticism attached to you about that aspect. But with the Wheel of Fortune, it's a great thing because you'll get a chance to experience it. And I feel like you'll have these experiences throughout the year that will give you the opportunity to show you, or to kind of relieve your skepticism, to kind of like build up your faith a little bit more, but also working on building your intuition. And I feel like you're going to get the opportunity to see that. Like the wheel is going to be turning in your favor. So let's go and see the full year spread. And so looking at the full year spread, it's kind of an interesting movement happening here. So first of all, we start off in January with the Empress card, but also the Five of Pentacles in reverse. And so for some of you, this could mean that you really started out the year really strongly in terms of your commitment to growth and to development. And then I kind of feel like somewhere, like somewhere in the first month alone, like is already an issue here with kind of like feeling like you don't have enough. But right next to that, and the is the Four of Cups, and that's really saying that you are being offered something. It's not that you don't have enough; you are being offered something. It's like you just don't see it, right? But attached to that idea is that there is, like, whenever I see the Hangman in reverse. Hangman in reverse is like, Hangman in the upright is talking about like divine energy, kind of like waiting. But I feel like you're coming out of the period of waiting. But when I see it in the reverse, it looks to me almost like a man standing with like a halo around its head, and that to me is always like a signifier for spirit and divine timing also, right? Because I do kind of feel like attached to that is, you are kind of unable to see what is being offered to you because you're in a space where you're kind of like juggling finances. Your money is an issue for you, and that is kind of like taking your away ability to see the things that spirit is trying to actively offer you. It might not come in the form that you're looking for. It might come in the form of, like, I know if you're juggling your finances, you might want money to be directly given to you, and that it might not be that. It might be the opportunity to grow independently. It might be the opportunity to build something from the ground up. It might be the opportunity to get the resources that you need to develop the thing that you need to develop, and not just an outright gift, right? But I think what's blocking you from your ability to see what's being given to you, because it's interesting, the Four of Cups is three cups and then one cup being offered, and then the Five of Cups is 3 cups and 2 cups kind of standing there, both, all ignored. And so it's like a doubling down of the idea that spirit is really handing you a gift, even though you don't necessarily see that it is a gift. It's like you're completely missing it. The gift is timing. The gift is perfection. The gift is the opportunity to kind of perfect that thing that you want to bring into the world. But kind of like, using the Temperance as your guide to kind of slowly get to where you're trying to get. Like those two cards, the Temperance and really the Hangman reverse, is really like talking about timing. I feel like there's an element of rushed energy. Like you want to go forward, but I think there's a thing about making decisions that don't necessarily pan out the way that you think they're going to do. And then you're like back at square one, which is kind of like that Wheel of Fortune energy that you keep facing, where you feel like you're investing time and energy into something, but it isn't necessarily yielding the outcomes that you want, primarily due to the fact that you might make decisions that don't necessarily align with the vision, or the way that spirit wants you to take it, right? Or the way that spirit wants you to develop it. And with the the King of Pentacles, it's not like you're unable to do that, but what's standing in your way is the Devil reverse, which means that some of your habits are kind of blocking your ability to get to, your end goal, because we're going to look into what those bad habits could be, right? But it's also blocking you from that, but it's also, you have to be able to see the truth about the situation. I feel like you have to be able to tell yourself the truth about the situation. And it's not until you're able to tell yourself the truth about your situation and about the reason why you go from being the Empress to the Five of Pentacles, is that it has something to do with something that you're doing or the choices that you're making that are not in alignment with your ultimate goal. And I feel like once you tell yourself that, and once you stop hiding that from yourself, and once you admit that to yourself, I feel like you'll definitely be on that wheel when it turns in your favor, because I think it has a lot to do with your habits that's like blocking that ultimate blessing. Okay, so we're having a little bit more clarity here. So the Empress and the Five of Pentacles in reverse, like I said, it is a huge shift in the way these cards feel, right? It's like the Empress is like really on top of the world, really like this creative flow creature, and then the Five of Pentacles is like destitute, like, whatever. So I really feel like this is kind of like the energy that you're coming into 2022 with. It feels like you kind of lost something that was major in your life, right? This could have been a person that you were dating. This could have been a family member. This could have been a child. It's like a major loss, right? And for clarification, For some of you, it could be more than one thing, right? And so that is clarified by the Seven of Cups and the Queen of Wands in reverse. And I feel like this loss has kind of put you in a space where you kind of like feel overwhelmed. You feel like you might be like a little doubtful of being happy again. Like you feel like you really took a major loss. And I feel like a lot of you, because the Seven of Cups is here, and the Five of Pentacles, like I said, I feel like this is like a major loss in terms of someone that's like really close to you, and it has really affected your confidence level. You really took an emotional hit from this loss, and I feel like that's kind of how you're coming into 2022 with that energy. And with the Four of Cups here, the question is, well, what is it that Spirit is offering you that you are missing? And the answer to that is clarified by the Chariot and the Six of Wands. And so really this is like the opportunity to completely bounce back, right? The Chariot is about moving forward. It's like a yes. Like when you ask a question, should I be moving forward, yes or no? This is a definite yes. And it's like, what are you moving it forward into? It's ultimately a victory, a win on your part. With the Six of Wands here, this is really a win on your part. And that is what you're missing. And Spirit is trying to offer that to you, despite how you're feeling right now or what you're going through. There is still a gift here for you. It's the opportunity to kind of like flip your fate right now and flip what's going on in your life right now. And it's also important to note that the Chariot card is also the card for Cancer. Again, that is the second time that's happened, right, with affiliation with Cancer. And so some of you might have Cancer in your chart. You should probably listen to the Cancer video. But this is also happening in the realm of within your household. So within your actual family unit, there is a little bit of a victory to be had. This could be, kind of like if you did take a loss and you lost a child, to not give up on the family aspect, not to give up on your home, not to give up on the things that you are trying to build and create. I feel like being home, with the Chariot card, like I said, it really talks about home. The comforts of home are going to be really important for you during this process. And I feel like what you're missing resides within your family structure. So, I mean, there is also a sense that some of you are actively trying to kind of juggle work, so that you can juggle work and your emotions about this particular loss that you just endured. I feel like you feel like it's not time for you to move forward yet. I feel like you're still kind of sulking in the loss a little bit, right? And so the clarification for the Hangman in reverse and the Two of Pentacles is showing up as the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. And so the Seven of Wands and the Four of Pentacles is really kind of talking about you being kind of like on the defensive, and it's like you're not coming out of that, right? You're kind of holding on to the defenses that you've put around yourself in terms of dealing with this heartbreak and this loss, like this huge loss that you had in your life. And I feel like you're doing that by kind of overworking and trying not to think about it, by doing other things in order to kind of like deal with it, and in order to allow that to be a way to get through the situation and to move forward. But as a result, like I said before, you might be missing out on something that Spirit is offering you as a gift because you are still in defense mode. And so that is something that you're going to need to kind of work through this year in order to really see what Spirit is trying to give you. There is also this idea that you need to be mindful of your poverty mentality, or your mentality when it comes to what is available to you and how much is available to you, because I do get a sense that you feel like there's not enough, and I feel like you feel like you're kind of scrounging around for resources because you feel like there aren't enough resources available to you. So when it comes to like the end of the year, I feel like you're going to come to a space you're going to have to kind of learn how to balance it out. But it feels like there's like a missed opportunity for you because you kind of like miss out on the opportunity for a new start with a Fool in reverse, due to some kind of like decisions that you made regarding collaborative work, possibly working with someone else who has a bigger brand, or who has a bigger company, or who has like a bigger name, so to speak. I think you might have decided to go with that company, or go that route, working with other people, but it didn't work out for whatever reason. And I feel like there's a little bit of like some hidden stuff going on here in these cards. So the question really starts to look like it lies in the message of the Seven of Cups. So, there's this element of having too many things to pick from, having too many options. And sometimes it's difficult to make a choice when there's so many things that are presented to you that look attractive, that look appealing, and you will never really know what they really are until you take the opportunity to really get to know what it is that you're looking at. And so that goes back to the beginning spread when we got the card about getting to know something. I feel like getting to know what it is that is in front of you, what is being presented to you, what you're being asked to partnership with, is a really important a tool that you need to put into your tool belt to eliminate false starts, to eliminate falling for something that might look good that doesn't necessarily that might not necessarily be good in the long run. And I feel like a lot of times that might be what you're kind of dealing with, is the allure and the potential for growth. But then it doesn't go the way you want it to go, because you find out things after the fact that you didn't know before. And so now that leaves you in a state where you're feeling a little bit hesitant, or lacking confidence in your decision-making abilities, because you feel like you keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. So really the guidance here is to really take the time and the opportunity to know what you're looking at before jumping into something or making a decision that will impact you or take you off of your path, because it isn't what you think it is. Your inability to create or have this life that you're trying to build really stems back to you kind of being a little bit more patient with yourself and also the process, but also realizing that your beliefs about what you're capable of doing is what's stopping you from doing that. If you think that you can't do it, then you won't. And I feel like you have to take the blinders off of your situation and be honest, and be real about what is happening, about the work that you're putting in. If you're putting work in the right places, if you're making the right decisions that will support the life that you're trying to create, and not, actively be fighting, taking steps forward, but then taking 10 steps back, it really comes down to that. We have the King of Pentacles that had the Devil card in between it, along with the Five of Cups. And so what's going to happen is, if you are juggling something, if you're juggling finances, or if you're juggling relationships, or if you're juggling anything that you're trying to keep hidden, know and understand that those things have a tendency of coming out. And I feel like you're going to be going through a situation where the truth is going to come out about about the things that you're juggling, but that you're also trying to hide. I feel like the Devil card here, the weirdest thing happened with this card when I was doing the reading. The card kept disappearing, the Devil card, which means it's something that you're actively trying to hide, or it's something that is you're trying to keep hidden. There is like a shuffling around of resources with the Two of Pentacles, and with the Tower card here. Like, this is something that's going to come to light. So you're going to have to really refocus on building a strong and a solid foundation if you want to move forward. And that is going to be coupled with your decision-making abilities and making the right decisions for you. In terms of who you choose to work with, in terms of who you choose to be in a relationship with, because that is also going to have a huge influence this year on your life. Okay, so at the end, we have the King of Swords, we have the Ace of Swords, we have the Queen of Swords, we have the Queen of Cups. And I feel like this is it right here. This is what is being hidden. It's really, like I said, it really comes down to the choices, multiple choices, too many choices. It might be too many choices. And then, if you remember, we also have the King of Cups. We also have the the King of Pentacles. We also have the Queen of Pentacles. So we have the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups. So these are a lot of people, extra people being involved in a situation. And with the Ace of Swords here, there is a truth that is going to be revealed about that's going to come out. And if the Three of Pentacles sitting here is any indication, it could be a third party situation where there's a few couples. It looks like there's 5 people. There's like multiple relationships going on, multiple people kind of like, interjecting in the relationship. It's all going to eventually come out. The truth is going to come out. And so that might leave you in a space where you feel like you are starting all over again. And that might be the case. But what it really boils down to is the ability to really dissect what it is that you're looking at and if it is supporting the life that you're trying to build. If it's not, then it don't need to be there. You need to get rid of it, right? Otherwise, you're going to be wasting your time, your energy, and your resources on something that's not going to grow. And you can't flip the Wheel of Fortune card with that. You have to be very intentional with your energy. And so that is something that you're going to have to really work on in 2022. And so I feel like that kind of really narrows everything down in terms of what we're seeing on the board. But yeah, this is like working on healing yourself, working on healing your family, working on building a family, really making a decision about who you want to be with, where you want to go, what type of work you want to do, and committing your time and energy into slowly building that and allowing that to work for you and not against you. Thank you so much for listening. Please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for post notifications, and share the video with someone you think will benefit from the message here. And I'll see you soon.